Hello all and welcome, and I am the Realist Philosopher, and in this video I'd like to talk about time and whether or not it exists. Now, I participate in a lot of online forums that have to do with philosophy, and I see people posting a lot of questions, some good, mostly bad, and yeah, there is such a thing as a bad or a dumb question, okay? The person who said there's no such thing as a stupid question was somebody who asked a lot of stupid questions, okay? So I hear this question a lot about whether or not there's such a thing as time. Does time exist? Is it real? Or is it just a concept? Is it made up? Is it a construct just like everything else? Yeah, okay. So there's this popular belief that time doesn't exist. And I think I know where this comes from. I think it has to do with people having a relativistic view of the world and especially time because, for example, sometimes when we're enjoying ourselves, when we're doing something fun, time seems to not only speed up, but almost completely disappear. This is not because it doesn't exist. It's just how engaged are we, right? How engaged are we in the moment? And the more engaged we are, the less we're aware of the passage of time. It's not that time is passing faster or slower relative to where we are in regards to everybody else that's there with us, who might be experiencing things differently. Some people might be more bored, some people might be more engaged in the moment, and hence for them, time might seem to pass at different rates. But for everybody, time is passing at the exact same rate. It's just how engaged and how interested we are in the moment to distract us from the passage of time, to put us in this moment, and to not be aware of time's passing. That's all. Now, I'd also like to bring this up, and I personally think this is very obvious. I don't see how people miss this, is that if time didn't exist, you wouldn't be able to see it change. Are you understanding me? You wouldn't be able to see it change. You wouldn't be aware of it. You wouldn't be having any kind of alteration in your feeling of its passage. That's not something you would be aware of if it didn't exist, okay? That's number one. Number two is time changes relative to location, gravity, speed. Perhaps you're familiar with time dilation. This is a proven phenomenon. Let me give you an example. Atomic clocks have been put in planes and on the ground and synced to the exact same moment. Then the plane flies 8, 10, 12 hours to another continent, whatever, 500 miles an hour, and then they compare the clocks. And guess what? The time that has passed is different. Now, the reason for this is time dilation, okay? The faster you move, the slower time will become. Now, of course, the rate of speed at which time passes on a plane is actually going to be faster because also time passes more quickly, the less gravity there is, okay? So the differential in gravity between the ground and the plane is enough that it is greater than the slowdown in time created by the greater traveling speed of the plane in relation to those people on the ground, okay? But my point is this. If it's something that can be measured, if it's something that can be tested, if it's something that can be measured, if it's something that slows down at one speed while here remains at a constant on Earth, if it changes in relation to gravitational fields and the speed at which you move, then it exists. Because if it didn't exist, there would be no phenomenon to measure. There would be no slowing down or speeding up of anything because it doesn't exist. And you wouldn't be able to measure it with instruments, with clocks, with atomic clocks. You wouldn't see a difference in the passage of time because it's relative. It's just a concept. It's just something that you perceive. It's something you create as a being existing in this world, and it's just a construct that you have made to interact with your reality. If it was that, then you wouldn't be able to objectively measure changes in it using tools outside of yourself and your own perceptions. Do you understand? Time is a real thing, because if it wasn't real, you wouldn't be able to measure it. You wouldn't be able to change the passage of it. It wouldn't speed up or slow down. Nothing whatsoever would happen. So time is not just a device that you wear on your arm, and you've measured it out into certain little increments, and those little increments are telling you the exact same thing. A second has passed, a minute has passed, an hour has passed. It's not just something you are using it's not just a construct, something you've made up to make your life more convenient and easier. No, it actually exists. Time is a real thing. It's an objective reality. It's part of the universe. It's woven into the fabric of the universe. Perhaps you've heard of the space-time continuum. Time dilation is very real. It can change based upon your location and the gravitational field that you are existing within, as well as the speed that you were traveling at. So it 100% does exist. Time is very real, space is very real, and reality is very real. And I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.